You know, people say beauty fades with age, but I disagree. Beauty doesn't fade, it evolves. When you're young, beauty is in your skin. When you're older, beauty is in your soul. And that's the kind of beauty that makes people stop and think, wow, she's got something special. So today, let's talk about 12 signs that you're a truly good looking older woman, not just in face, but in grace. You carry calm instead of chaos. That's the mark of a truly good looking older woman. When you walk into a room, you don't need to say a word for people to feel your energy. There's something steady, something peaceful, something beautifully composed about you. In a world where everyone is rushing, reacting, and running after everything, you've become that rare presence who reminds people that peace is power. When you were younger, life felt like a race. You wanted to win every argument, prove your point, fix every relationship, and control every outcome. You believed that peace meant everything around you had to be perfect. But now, you've learned that peace means you stay perfect, even when everything around you is not. You've realized that calm is not about everything going your way, it's about choosing serenity when nothing goes your way. That is your beauty now. Think about it. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you no longer react with anger. You take a deep breath, maybe even smile, and remind yourself, I've been that impatient driver once too. When someone misunderstands you, you don't rush to defend yourself anymore. You've learned that people see through their own lens. You simply send them silent blessings and move on. Because your peace is more valuable than proving your innocence. You've become like a calm lake, still, deep, and reflective. The surface may have ripples, but the depth remains untouched. That's what makes you look so radiant without even trying. People are drawn to you not because of your makeup, your clothes, or your age, but because of your energy. They sense your calmness, and it makes them want to be calmer too. You've become a walking reminder that elegance is not in the way you dress, but in the way you handle stress. There was a time when small things used to break you: a friend's harsh word, a missed call, a mistake at work. But over time, life has trained you. Every disappointment has shaped your patience. Every heartbreak has taught you grace, and every challenge has polished your soul. You've been through storms, and that's why you don't get shaken by raindrops anymore. You know the difference between what deserves your reaction and what deserves your silence. You see, the world often confuses loudness with strength. But your strength is quiet. It's not the kind that demands attention. It's the kind that commands respect. You've learned that calm doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough not to lose yourself. You choose peace over panic, understanding over argument, and love over ego. That's the kind of beauty that no mirror can show, but everyone can feel. Let's take an example from daily life. Imagine two women at work. One is constantly stressed, snapping at colleagues, rushing through tasks, feeling overwhelmed by every small problem. The other woman, that's you, handles everything with patience. When something goes wrong, you take a breath and say, all right, let's find a solution. You smile, stay composed, and keep everyone around you grounded. Who do you think people admire more? Who do they trust, follow, and look up to? Of course, It's the woman who carries calm instead of chaos. Even at home, you've become that peaceful center. Your children, your friends, even your partner, they know that when things get messy, they can come to you. You don't add to the noise, you bring silence that heals. You listen, you guide, you comfort. You've turned wisdom into warmth. That calm presence makes your face glow in a way that no makeup ever could. It's the light of understanding, the shine of peace. You've realized something powerful, that you can't control people, but you can control your response. You can't control the world, but you can control your inner world. And that realization has changed everything. Now, when you wake up, you choose peace as deliberately as you choose your clothes. You protect it, you nurture it. You no longer let someone else's storm destroy your sunshine. And people notice it. They might not say it, but they feel it. They'll say, "There's something about her. She's so composed. She's so graceful." That's because calmness is magnetic. It attracts respect, admiration, and love without you even trying. There's beauty in youth, yes. But the beauty of maturity, that calm, collected grace, is something deeper. You've become like a cup of warm tea on a stormy evening. The world can be loud and chaotic, but you offer stillness. You've learned that the true definition of beauty is peace in motion. You no longer compete to be seen. You're at peace being understood by few. You don't chase moments anymore, you create them. You don't try to impress, you express kindness. You don't shout your opinions, you whisper wisdom. That quiet confidence, that calm energy, that's what makes you truly beautiful as you grow older. So when someone asks, "What's your beauty secret?" smile and say, "Peace." Because calmness has become your charm, patience your perfume, and grace your glow. You carry calm instead of chaos. And that, my friend, is the most attractive quality a woman can ever wear. You've mastered the art of being still in a spinning world. And that stillness, that balance, that gentle power, that's what makes you a truly good looking older woman. Not because the years have been kind to your face, but because they've been wise for your soul. You know, there's something incredibly powerful about a woman who has mastered the art of silence. When you were younger, you probably believed that being heard meant speaking louder, defending yourself faster, and explaining yourself endlessly. But now, as you've grown, you've discovered that silence isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's the quiet strength that only comes from experience, patience, and understanding. A truly good-looking older woman knows that silence has a beauty all its own. It's the kind of beauty that doesn't demand attention, it earns it. When you choose silence, it doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It means you've learned that not everything deserves your words. You've realized that sometimes silence can protect your peace better than 1,000 explanations. You no longer waste energy arguing with people who are determined to misunderstand you. You've grown past the need to win every debate or prove every point. You smile, stay calm, and let life do the explaining for you, because it always does. Think about how many times in your younger days you reacted in the heat of the moment. Someone insulted you and you snapped back. Someone lied and you rushed to defend your name. You felt that if you didn't respond, you'd seem weak. But over the years, You've realized that the opposite is true. Silence is not a lack of power, it's the highest expression of it. It shows that your peace is no longer up for negotiation. You see, people often talk not to communicate, but to compete, to be right, to be heard, to dominate the conversation. But you've learned that you don't have to shout to make your presence known. Your silence itself speaks volumes. When someone tries to provoke you and you stay calm, you teach them something. That maturity is not about reaction, it's about response. You no longer carry the urge to prove your worth to those who don't value it. Your silence is your statement. Let's take a simple daily example. Imagine someone criticizes your appearance. Maybe they say, "You've aged," or "You look tired." A younger version of you might have felt hurt, maybe even defensive. But now, you just smile. You know that their comment says more about their insecurity than your beauty. You've learned that you don't have to respond to every word that tries to pull you down. Your peace, your grace, your silence, that's your answer. In your relationships too, you've discovered that silence can heal more than arguments can. When tempers rise, when emotions flare, instead of adding fire to fire, you choose quiet. You let the storm pass. You understand that not every problem needs to be solved through endless talking. Some problems need time, space, and silence. You've learned that true communication often begins after the noise ends. Even in your work, your silence has become your strength. When others panic, you stay composed. When others gossip, you stay focused. When others rush to speak, you listen. And because you listen, you understand more. People start trusting you more, valuing your presence more, respecting your insight more. You've realized that listening, real listening, is a rare and beautiful skill, and silence is the foundation of that skill. You've also learned that silence doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means choosing the right time and place to express them. You don't react impulsively, you respond intentionally. There's wisdom in your pauses, purpose in your restraint. You know when to speak, and you know when to let silence speak for you. Because sometimes silence carries truth more gracefully than words ever could. Think about nature, how the most powerful things are often silent. The moon doesn't shout, yet it lights up the night. The ocean doesn't argue, yet it commands respect. The trees don't speak, yet they give life to everything around them. That's how your silence works. It nourishes, protects, and strengthens you. Your silence also gives you clarity. In the quiet moments, you've learned to listen to yourself, your intuition, your thoughts, your spirit. You no longer drown in the noise of others' opinions. You've stopped seeking validation from the outside world and started finding peace within. That inner stillness gives your face a calm glow that no beauty product can match. People look at you and see serenity, not because your life is perfect, but because you've learned to be peaceful even when it isn't. There's another beauty in silence. It surprises people. When others expect you to react and you don't, they start to wonder. They realize you've grown beyond the drama. You've become unpredictable in the most graceful way, not because you're cold, but because you're controlled. You choose your battles, and most of the time, you choose none at all. You've realized that silence is not emptiness. It's full of understanding, of wisdom, of unspoken strength. People often mistake your silence for surrender, but it's not surrender, it's self-respect. You no longer lower your energy to match the noise around you. You rise above it. And when you do that, you not only protect your peace, but you also teach others how to protect theirs. Your silence becomes a silent lesson that not every word deserves a reply, not every situation deserves an explanation, and not every person deserves a reaction. So, the next time someone asks you, "Why didn't you say anything?" just smile and think to yourself, "Because I didn't need to." You've learned that silence can build bridges, end conflicts, and even heal hearts. And that's what makes you so captivating. You're no longer loud, you're luminous. You're no longer reactive, you're radiant. You've become a woman who understands that silence is not the absence of communication, it's the presence of control. And that quiet confidence, that peaceful restraint, that invisible power, that's what makes you truly, deeply, beautifully attractive. You no longer shout to be heard, your silence whispers louder than noise ever could. You dress for yourself. That's what makes you radiantly beautiful, effortlessly confident, and truly attractive as an older woman. There's something profoundly graceful about reaching a stage in life where you no longer dress to please others, but to celebrate yourself. You no longer chase trends or follow what the world says is in fashion. You've learned that real style has nothing to do with labels, price tags, or approval. It's about how you feel when you look in the mirror. You've discovered that confidence, comfort, and authenticity are the best fabrics you can ever wear. When you were younger, perhaps you spent hours choosing outfits that others might compliment. You wanted people to say, "You look amazing," because back then that validation felt important. But as you've grown, you've realized that true beauty begins the moment you stop dressing for others and start dressing for the woman in the mirror. You wear what makes you feel alive, calm, and confident. You wear colors that match your energy, not someone else's expectation. You choose comfort not because you've given up, but because you've grown up. There's power in a woman who dresses with self-respect. You choose clothes that reflect your mood, your strength, your story. You don't wear an outfit to attract attention. You wear it to express how far you've come. You understand that every piece of fabric you put on your body should make you feel something. Confidence, peace, or even joy. You've realized that fashion isn't about what you wear. It's about how you carry what you wear. And when you carry yourself with grace, even a simple cotton dress looks like elegance itself. Let's picture a simple day. You're getting ready to go out, maybe for a lunch with friends or a quiet walk in the park. The younger version of you might have stood before the wardrobe, worrying. Will this make me look slim? Will this look modern enough? What will people think? But now, you smile. You pick the dress that feels right. You wear it not for the camera or the crowd, but for your comfort. You might add a scarf that makes you feel graceful or jewelry that tells a memory. You look in the mirror and think, "Yes, this is me." That's confidence, pure, silent, and stunning. And that confidence is magnetic. People can sense when a woman is comfortable in her own skin. They notice the way she walks, not just the clothes she wears. They notice the calmness in her presence, the quiet pride in her smile. That's what dressing for yourself does. It brings out your authenticity. It makes you glow differently because you're not trying to be someone else. You've stopped performing. You're simply being. You've learned that no outfit can hide insecurity and no age can hide elegance. True beauty doesn't come from the store, it comes from self awareness. You've stopped chasing youthful fashion because you've realized there's nothing more youthful than self assurance. You can wear something simple, even minimal, and still look radiant because your confidence fills the space where others would need approval. And here's the beauty of it: you inspire others just by being yourself. When younger women see you dressing confidently, without trying too hard, they notice. They see that beauty doesn't expire, it evolves. You show them that it's possible to age with grace, not by hiding the years, but by honoring them. You wear your experience like a designer label, invisible but undeniable. Think about how many times you've complimented someone, not because of their outfit, but because of their energy. You might have said, "There's something about her, she just carries herself so beautifully." That something is exactly what you now possess. It's the energy of a woman who knows herself, respects herself, and dresses like she values herself. That's the real luxury, not the price of the fabric, but the peace in your presence. You've also learned that dressing for yourself doesn't mean neglecting your appearance. It means enhancing it naturally. You take care of yourself not to impress, but to express love for yourself. You wear what makes you feel beautiful, even if no one else is watching. You put on that shade of lipstick you love, not because someone told you it suits you, but because you love how it makes you feel. You wear jewelry that has memories, maybe your mother's ring, a bracelet from your travels, because they remind you of your journey. Every piece you choose tells a story of who you are, not who you're trying to be. When you walk out the door, you don't walk for the world's approval anymore. You walk for yourself, calm, proud, and radiant. That's why heads still turn when you pass by, not because of your clothes, but because of your confidence. People see that you are at peace with yourself, and that peace makes you unforgettable. And yes, there are still people who will try to judge or comment. But you've learned to smile and move on. You know that the woman who dresses for herself never competes. She doesn't follow the crowd, she sets her own quiet standard. You've become that woman. Your fashion sense comes from your self-sense. In every phase of your life, your style has evolved, and so have you. You've learned that the best outfit a woman can wear is self-respect. The best accessory is her smile, and the most attractive fragrance is her confidence. You've turned dressing into an act of self-love. You no longer dress to seek attention, you dress to celebrate intention. So when someone asks, "Who are you dressing up for?" you can simply smile and say, "For myself." Because you've earned that peace. You've earned the right to feel beautiful without needing anyone's validation. You've learned that true fashion is not about impressing the world, but about expressing your soul. And that, right there, is your magic. You've become a woman who dresses from the inside out, from the depth of her confidence, the calm of her heart, and the wisdom of her years. You dress for yourself, and that's what makes you not just a good looking older woman, but a timelessly beautiful one. You've mastered emotional intelligence, and that's what makes you glow from the inside out. It's not about being perfect or knowing all the right answers. It's about knowing how to respond when life throws its chaos at you. You've learned the art of staying balanced when others lose control, of understanding emotions instead of being consumed by them. You've realized that wisdom is not just about what you know, but how you carry what you feel, that quiet understanding you hold, that grace you show when others expect anger. That's true beauty. There was a time in your younger days when emotions ruled your world. If someone hurt you, you reacted instantly. If someone ignored you, you questioned your worth. You gave power to every comment, every tone, every situation. But now, you've learned something powerful, that you can't control what happens around you, but you can control what happens within you. That's emotional intelligence. It's the peace that comes from understanding that not every action needs a reaction. Now, when someone speaks harshly, you pause, you see the pain behind their words, you realize their anger is not truly about you. It's about something unresolved within them. You don't take things personally anymore because you've learned that everyone speaks from their own level of awareness. You respond with patience, or sometimes you don't respond at all. That calm understanding makes you radiant, because nothing is more attractive than a woman who doesn't let others control her emotions. Think about how different your life feels now. There was a time when you would replay conversations in your head, wondering if you said something wrong. You used to seek closure from people who had no interest in giving it. You used to carry the weight of guilt and misunderstanding, but now you've learned to release it. You've stopped expecting others to always understand you. Instead, you've made peace with understanding yourself. You've become your own comfort zone. When you talk to others, you don't just listen to their words, you listen to their silence too. You've developed a beautiful sensitivity, not to be hurt easily, but to connect deeply. You can sense when someone's smile is hiding sadness, or when their laughter is covering loneliness. You've learned how to show kindness in moments when people expect criticism. You've learned that sometimes the best thing you can offer someone is patience. This emotional maturity doesn't mean you don't feel deeply anymore. In fact, you feel even more deeply. But now you know how to manage it. You don't let emotions control you, you guide them. You've learned that anger, jealousy, sadness, they all come and go like waves, but you are the ocean beneath. You've become steady, calm, and vast. You let emotions pass through you without drowning in them. Let's take a simple daily example. Imagine someone close to you forgets something important. Maybe your birthday or a promise they made. The younger you might have felt hurt, disappointed, maybe even angry. You might have demanded explanations, started arguments, or gone silent in pain. But now you smile and think, people forget. But that doesn't mean they don't care. You choose understanding over ego. You might still express your feelings, but without bitterness. That's what emotional intelligence looks like. It's grace under pressure. Even in the workplace, your calmness stands out. When others panic over deadlines or conflicts, you remain composed. You listen before you react. You don't let emotions cloud your judgment. You've become that person others turn to when things get tense. Not because you're the loudest, but because you're the most centered. People trust you because you don't overreact. They respect you because you lead with empathy, not ego. You've learned that true strength isn't in controlling others, it's in controlling yourself. You no longer seek revenge when someone wrongs you. You've realized that forgiveness doesn't mean they were right. It means you've chosen peace over poison. You've stopped needing to win emotional battles because now you understand peace of mind is the only victory worth having. This calm understanding has changed the way you love too. You no longer expect love to fill your emptiness. You bring fullness into love. You don't demand attention. You give understanding. You don't chase validation. You create connection. You understand that love is not about perfect people, but about patient ones. And when love ends, you don't break down. You learn, you heal, and you grow. That quiet resilience is what makes you glow with such grace. Emotional intelligence has also made you more compassionate, not only to others but to yourself. You've learned to forgive yourself for mistakes, to speak kindly to yourself when things don't go as planned. You no longer punish yourself for being human. You understand that growth takes time and healing is not linear. You've made peace with your past and stopped letting old wounds define you. You've become your own best friend, and that, perhaps, is the most beautiful part. The way you've built a relationship with yourself. You don't rely on the world to keep you balanced anymore. You carry your balance within. You've learned that protecting your peace is not selfish, it's essential. Because when you are centered, you can give love without losing yourself. People around you feel it. They might not always say it, but they feel safer with you. Your calmness comforts them. Your understanding heals them. You've become the kind of woman whose presence is like a soft light, steady, gentle, and warm. You don't need to speak loudly to make an impact. Your peace speaks louder than your words ever could. So when someone asks what makes you so confident, so radiant, so unshakable, the answer is simple. You've learned to understand, not overreact. You've learned to feel, not fall apart. You've learned that peace is not something you find, it's something you build within. And that emotional intelligence, that quiet, powerful grace, is what makes you truly, breathtakingly beautiful.